Imagine that you're practicing and suddenly you notice this. Or this. Your piano technician is out of town for the next 2 months, and the more you play that nasty note, the more furious you get. So you just get frustrated and stop practicing. But what if there's a better solution? In this video we're gonna look at some easy piano fixes you can do yourself, even if you've never opened a piano before, and that can save you some frustration and some money. And by the end I'm gonna show you a completely risk-free 1-minute fix for any out-of-tune note using toilet paper. But before taking all the leads out, let's run a few quick checks. First of all, make sure that your piano is properly maintained. These quick fixes are for emergencies. They are not a replacement for regular tunings and checkups. Your piano technician should visit at least once a year to tune and care for your instrument. If your piano sounds like this, then there's little you can do on your own. Second, try to keep the temperature and the humidity level in your piano room as stable as possible. A simple device like this one costs less than $10 and helps you keep everything under control. Sudden changes in temperature and humidity make all wooden parts of the instrument shrink and expand. Get a humidifier or a dehumidifier if you need it, and avoid air conditioners if possible, because they dry up the air a lot and mess everything up. And third and final check, get yourself a piano tuning kit. There are lots of affordable options out there, and if you're not a pro technician, you definitely don't need a $300 tuning hammer. Just make sure it includes this piece, you'll see why in a minute. And now let's open up our piano and try out those easy fixes. Issue number 1, strange noises. These issues are super common and quite often they have a ridiculously simple cause. Let's figure it out. If the sound is like a click, like something is loose inside, all you need to do is open up your piano. This happens a lot with upright pianos. If you place something here and close the lid just a bit, the object can fall into the hidden parts of the keys. Take off all the lids and look for strange objects, like pencils, paper clips, or anything that shouldn't be there. Another type of noise is the rattle when you play specific notes. This one's extra frustrating because it's really hard to figure out where it comes from. In this case, besides looking out for strange objects inside the piano, check out any metallic items near the piano. Keys, coins, rings, they tend to vibrate and make noise. One day I had that problem in this room, and after half an hour of investigating and looking around, it turned out it was the lamp. I just tightened up the bulb a bit, and the rattle was gone. Let's move on to the pedals now. Pedals are the soul of the piano, and there are a couple of things that can go wrong with them that can be easily fixed. First, if you press any pedal and it doesn't do anything, it means that the lower and the upper part of the mechanics are not connected. Check the corresponding rod to make sure it's properly in place, and that's all it takes. If it works, but it has some uncomfortable free play, it means that the screw here is too loose. Tighten it a bit until it's well aligned and you'll have it working perfectly again. And for the sustain pedal in particular, this screw allows you to adjust the pedal to your taste. If you want it very reactive and very delicate to your foot, tighten the screw. But if you want it to be less reactive and easier to control, you can loosen it up a bit. Feel free to move it around and try, because there's absolutely no risk. Grand pianos work in the same way, but the screw is outside the box and behind the pedals. Let's move on to the keys now. There's nothing more uncomfortable than keys that are loose, either vertically or horizontally or both. It completely ruins your control and your touch, and can even make a great piano feel like a low quality one. Let's see how we can fix that. But before that, an important note. The piano mechanism is full of felts, which are like little sponges. They absorb moisture when the air is humid and release it when the air is dry. This constant shrinking and expanding can cause problems, so that's why it's worth keeping an eye on humidity levels and keeping them stable. So first I'll show you what causes horizontal play and how humidity affects that. Let's take the keys out. Don't be afraid to do this yourself, it's very easy to put them back into place. There's this little metal piece here, let's call it the key rail. It's in touch with this hole covered in felt. This key rail can be twisted like a screw. The more horizontal the head is, the tighter it will press against the hole. After the years, the felt wears down and the hole becomes a bit wider, which produces that play. Also, if your piano is adjusted in a wet climate and you move it to a dry climate, or if you turn the air conditioner on, the felt will shrink and the same thing will happen. So if your keys are loose horizontally, Twist the metal piece just a bit with some pliers and it should be better. And on the contrary of free play, sticky keys. They are almost always caused by the opposite problem. The felt expands from too much humidity and it rubs against the key rail. Start by checking the key rail. If it's too horizontal, loosen it slightly to see if that solves the issue. If not, the problem may be in this piece of felt instead. If that's the case, you can compress it a bit by placing something inside the hole and pressing it against the sides. Then put the key back in place and check that it moves freely. Now, I personally don't mind the horizontal looseness that much, but vertical free play is something I absolutely hate. If any of your keys look like this, like you press the key but the hammer doesn't immediately start moving, it's horrible to play. This little vertical piece here is the one that pushes the hammer up when you press a key. And this space shouldn't be there. This is where the problem is. And this other piece down here connects the key to the rest of the mechanics. This is where the solution is. The solution piece has small holes where you can insert the tool we just saw and turn it. It works exactly as a standard screw, and everything you do on the solution piece will be reflected in the problem piece. If this goes up, this one goes up too, and the other way around. And we said that this space shouldn't be there, so we'll just unscrew the solution piece until the problem piece touches the base of the hammer. Now, if you go too far, it will push up too much and your hammer will stand out like this. To fix that, just screw it down again until you find the sweet spot where the hammer is resting in line with all the others, but the key has no free play at all. Let's move on to dead keys now. This is mostly for upright pianos. Grand pianos have more complex mechanics, so the fixes are a bit different. Let's see what happens when you press a key. This small piece, previously called the problem piece, pushes the hammer up, then comes back behind and it stays there until the key is released. If the key doesn't work at all, because this piece is permanently behind, try to locate this spring, and if it's out of place, just put it back, using some tweezers if you need. And if the key sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, and the spring is in place, it can be that the spring is too weak. You can take it out, stretch it a bit and place it back. It'll push a little harder from that moment. And this is the moment you were waiting for. I'll show you a non-invasive way to fix out-of-tune notes with toilet paper. It'll sound a bit ridiculous, but at least you'll be able to practice without getting frustrated until your technician comes back in a month or two. And if you've never used a tuning hammer and you're kind of nervous about it, this method removes that risk completely. First of all, let's see what makes a note be out of tune. If you play a note and the sound sort of wobbles, it's because the strings are not vibrating at the same frequency. So the first step is to locate which string is causing the problem. First, mute one of the outer strings and listen. Then do the same with the other. If it suddenly sounds clean with any of the two, you're lucky. But if both pairs sound wrong, then you're just a bit less lucky, but no worries. In the first case, just grab a piece of toilet paper, fold it and squeeze it between that string and the last one from the adjacent key. And now it suddenly sounds good and you won't notice almost any difference when you're playing. And in the second case, you'll lose some power on that note, it will sound considerably less, but that's definitely better than the out-of-tune solution. Just squeeze it between two of the three strings of the same note. So if you're doing a sound check for a concert and you find out that the piano has a note like that, don't hesitate and squeeze a piece of toilet paper in the strings. That'll fix it and no one will notice that there's anything wrong. I've played a lot of recitals in my life with toilet paper inside the piano and I definitely do it again every time that I need. And if you want to see how a well-maintained, tuned and regulated upright piano can sound, have a look at this video where I really push this bad boy to the limit. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out and see you in the next video.